And so, throughout your career, you had a moment where you stopped playing competitively and you went into coaching.
Mhm.
Is that correct? You coached for a little bit,
I
and
did coach
so
for a while.
and
Yeah.
so how did you find that?
I actually really enjoyed the coaching, and I enjoyed going through the certification process and learning how to sort of um, not become a coach, but the communication process it requires to be a coach. I
Hmm.
may have these ideas and I can do it myself, but explaining to a player or an athlete how to do that is a completely different skill set. So I gained a much greater appreciation for the coaches that I have worked with or that I was surrounded with when I was coaching.
Hmm.
And yeah, it also made me reflect on like when I did come back to playing again, I was able to look at all these things that I had learned in becoming a coach and like self coach myself in a way. So it was really, really helpful. And I'm glad that I had that part of my life and my like overall career that yeah, that I was able to coach and I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and like you said, it's a completely different skill, right? And sometimes, explaining someone that is not a highly skilled athlete can be quite a challenge. Whereas,
Well,
for yourself, you just do it because you've lived it so long.
yeah, exactly. And it's also how you yes, the delivery. I can say it one way and one person could understand and then someone else in that group lesson may not understand and I have to try to say it a different way. Maybe they have a completely different learning process where they're more um, visual instead of audio or more kinetic and I have to like try to integrate that into the lesson.
Hmm.
And then whether it's like a private lesson or a group lesson, you have to know like how much time can I stick to each person and that sort
Right.
of thing. So it's yeah, it's interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so besides coaching, you is it right that you also competed in rowing for a little bit?
I did. So I did
Yeah.
a lot. I did a lot of things during my time off. This is all when I was attending UBC and I was coaching at UBC.
Hmm.
So I was yeah full time school, part time coaching, and then I decided to join the rowing team. So
Awesome.
it made for really long days, but I really really enjoyed it. It made my university experience like so much more enjoyable because yeah, I got to be on a team and I got to continue to be active, and it gave me a sense of community. Um, while I was attending classes. So yeah, it was great. And a lot of
That's
my
awesome.
friends are still on the rowing team, so it's really fun to see the things that they're achieving and doing and keeping in
Hmm.
touch with them.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And so, it's obvious that you have that competitive drive in yourself. And, where does that come from? Where is it? Where do you drive that motivation? I mean, we all know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work to get up. And like you said, you went to school, you were competing in rowing, now you're probably competing or training quite a lot. So, daily, day to day, where do you find that drive?
Great
Or in
question.
the past?
When I was doing rowing coaching in school, sometimes I'm just like, I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I stayed awake because I was getting
Right.
yeah, I was getting so little sleep because our practices were. I'd have to get up at 4 in the morning, and our practice would start at 5:20.
Wow.
That sort of thing. So and then I'd coach until like 9 at night sometimes, or 10 at night. I don't know how I did that, but I think part of it is finding something you're passionate about. So for me, my passion was I still had the passion with tennis, which
Hmm.
allowed me to coach. I really enjoyed my university and becoming more academic, so I was passionate about that. And then the rowing was something more of a like a competitive outlet, and I really enjoyed sort of putting myself in an uncomfortable position to try something new. Um, of course, in each experience, there's situations that aren't as fun. It's never going to be completely an enjoyable, fun, motivational experience throughout, but you have to have like just a little seed of like why you're doing something. And I think I still hold that for my tennis right now is just my love and passion for the sport and I have to remind myself on some days when it's really, really hard training day and I'm like exhausted. I'm just like, no, you love this. You do.
You love this.
Yeah, but I think that's really a key thing to anything you do. It can be sport related or not. You have to have something you're passionate about, and whether it's a side hobby that you do, or your full time job, whatever. Yeah, you have to find what makes you passionate and motivating. Something to enjoy that experience.
Mm.
Yeah,
And,
which is,
and
I mean, easy to say, but hard to implement sometimes.
of course, when you're emotionally drained and tired or exhausted physically, it can be a tough one to go back into that. So,
Mhm.
you know, what sort of tools do you have in your bag, so to speak, that can get you back and turned on if you're on the court and you're feeling a little down or a little low on energy? You know, do you use some sort of cue words? Is it thoughts? Is it physically getting going, or you know, where do
Mhm.
you go when you're not feeling your greatest?
So a lot of time I have to figure out where my energy level is. I'm a pretty calm, relaxed person. But if I'm too relaxed, I'm not engaged in what I'm doing in my match or my practice. And if I'm too excited, then I'm just like a space cadet basically. So I have to be able to find the right um, sort of energy level for me. So whether it's between excitement and relaxation, and
Mm-hmm.
knowing where my ideal and optimal is. So that's part of like refining myself if I'm off. Whether it's if I'm feeling low, I need to like do more physical activation or like get myself like a little more hyped up. Or if I'm way too hyped up, just like focusing on my breathing techniques. So that's one aspect of it, like more the physical. Um, yeah, what else did I do? Mentally, more like it's my self-talk.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm very normal, like a lot of people. I tend to go into that negative or focus on the things that I've done wrong, or just be really hard on myself. Kind of that perfectionist attitude.
Yes.
Um, so I think I actually noticed I did it in this past trip in Australia. Because I didn't travel with anyone, I had to be my own cheerleader. And so I was trying to be a lot more positive and like just positivity and motivational and that self-talk to myself
Mm-hmm.
audibly out loud, being like,
Mm-hmm.
great job. Or if I miss, I'd be like, all right, next one, you can do it. Don't worry. So there's the two aspects, the physical and like the mental side of it, and getting yourself in that prime situation, whether it's through self-talk or just like your physical state of being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
of course.